This video is on how to create a new virtual machine. So here is an icon which you can use. Otherwise, you can also go here into the menu item and you can choose new here. So either of these you can use. And when you click on this new, it would open a dialog box in which you can specify whatever virtual machine you wanted to create. And note, this is the place where the virtual machines will going to be saved. I'll show you in another video how exactly you can set it, or otherwise you can also browse and choose a specific location. You can also set the default, and here you can choose what kind of machine you wanted to create. Either is it a Windows, Linux, Solaris, these things, plus whether you wanted to create which version of Windows, or if you choose here Linux, whether you wanted to create a Debian, Fedora, Ubuntu, Red Hat. So you can choose the machine that you wanted to create. Often this will be selected by default. As I keep typing here Ubuntu, it recognizes that it is a Linux machine, Ubuntu, and preferably it goes for 64-bit. So I give here some standard name of my own because I wanted to install Ubuntu 18.04 in this. Okay. And then I click on next. This is the place where I can specify the RAM. This can be modified later. So initially you can accept whatever it had specified. Otherwise you can move the bar to choose a higher RAM memory area. Click on next. This is where it is trying to create a hard disk for that virtual machine. Default often it might show 8 GB or 10 GB. Go ahead with it. In the next step, here in this dialog box, it is choosing whether to create a VDI image. I am going with the default settings. As I click next, it is showing here that the storage will be dynamically allocated. In the previous dialog box, I showed you that you can allocate 10 GB or 20 GB, but that doesn't mean that the entire 10 GB will be given to that virtual machine. The storage is the maximum that you are fixing, and the storage space will be dynamically allocated as and when you add more and more things to that virtual machine. So initially only a few MB may be allocated, and later more and more space will be allocated. But remember, you cannot change the storage space once you create the virtual machine. So preferably choose a higher size, something like say 20 GB or 32 GB, and create the virtual machine so that dynamically the virtual machine can grow up to that much size in its lifetime. Click on next. So here is an option for you to choose. Are you okay with the 10 GB, or you can go for 20 GB or any bigger size beyond that? That only fixes the max limit. And this is the place where that storage space will be located in the file system. After doing all these things, I'm clicking here create, and this will go ahead creating the new virtual machine.